at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out, they made a big smile, no handcuff our officers. Hold on, wait.
Hold on, wait.
They lost the script, we got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Yeah. Oh, chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out, they rain a big smile, no handcuff our officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script, we got some shooters. Pow. It's off the hip. Yeah. Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate.
Chat, welcome in, chat. Hold on, wait. Welcome to the WWE SmackDown recap, the 3-hour letdown. We're gonna talk about it right here on Unwelcome Your Thoughts Off the Hip. Ooh-wee. Let's turn up for one time then. Come on. Chat, we here. It's us. Nobody else but us. We right here. How's everybody doing today? My brother Razor, what's the word with you?
It is a beautifully brisk evening here on the West Coast, my brother.
Yes, sir. I love to hear it. Wrestling fans, welcome to another exciting episode Off the Hip. This is the first one for 2025. Like, this is our first recap for 2025. 3 hours of SmackDown. And
Three interesting hours.
Yeah, it's a special day. It marks the first time 3 hours going for SmackDown, and we're doing it in 2025 on the USA Network. And you know, that's it. That's pretty much what we're gonna talk about tonight. You seen what was on the screen. If you didn't see, then we're gonna talk about that also. Tonight the main headlines was we're gonna have the WWE Women's Championship match between Nia Jax and Naomi. Then we also had Shinsuke Nakamura defending his United States Championship against Andrade. But before we get into tonight's matches and recaps, I want to take a second to thank everybody that's been rocking with us for the whole 2024. It's been a special year. I feel like we've been getting nothing but love, trajectory going up. Everybody been coming through, shooting off the hip with us. And Razor, you ready to get through with it?
Let's get it.
First off, I want to ask you a question, right? Just before we get into everything. With this new 3-hour format, like, did you feel like they changed anything? Do you think they should have, like, maybe did something different? Was this what you expected? Let me know your thoughts on the 3 hours before we head into
Aside from the visual changes that we saw off the bat.
Yeah, talk about it. Let's talk about it. We got to talk about everything.
How you feel about the ring?
Well,
For two reasons. One, the obvious color, and two, there's a certain logo that's no longer featured there.
I thought that was very noticeable to me. First off, the whole ring, I thought it was just I didn't notice it in the opening segment when Cody came out. Like, I was more paying attention to the dialogue between Cody and Drew. But then when the next match got underway, which I believe was the Andrade and Shinsuke, that's when I noticed, oh, hold on. There's a blue mat here. I started looking. There was no prom logo. I looked over to the corners, turnbuckles, to see if I see no hydration station.
I think we know where it ended up at.
Man, that's
we'll know in a couple days.
Just like, aside from the implications of like that and Prime and the relationship, if they still even have one, or if it's gonna be exclusive to Netflix. But the visual, the blue mat, it felt different. It felt refreshing. The white ropes, I don't know if it was inverted, like if they had the blue ropes and the white mat like a few weeks ago. But I like the touch of the white ropes and the blue mat. It's different.
And also, there's another change visually. We now have Lillian Garcia on Raw are on SmackDown,
Mm,
which means Alicia Taylor will be on Netflix.
yep. They switching around ring announcers. I read that right before the show.
And I think on
Um,
Raw is going to be McAfee and Cole.
I was surprised to see Cole and Graves still there for today's episode. I thought it would have been Barrett and Tess out there today.
Or maybe even Barrett and Graves, or maybe a three. Would a 3-man be all right for that show particularly?
Yeah,
I mean, 3 man is usually pretty tough, but I think Graves and
let's
Barrett
go
could trade
Amethyst.
off and just do just enough.
Yeah, nah, but the opening segment to me was a bit lackluster. Like if we want to get into the show and the format for me, I felt like okay, 3 hours. When it was 2 hours, y'all was giving us that pacing of chaos and you just didn't know where things were gonna lead. It was like segment led into another segment. There were
I'm
things
glad
you
you
had
touched
to
on
pay.
the pacing.
Yeah, the pacing was just like I'm
Be-
not trying to just come out here and just shit on the show because that's what people been doing recently. These are just my honest opinions. Like I really came into this show tonight. I gave Friday night my 3 hours. You know, Marvel Rivals has been really exciting to me. So I'm like, damn. You know, I'm over here on competitive to the side while I'm watching SmackDown. I'm glancing over like, man, I could be just getting around and like, and it's unfortunate. I was hoping to be more captivated by, you know, again that pacing. I remember when Raw went to 2 hours or just that stretch when it was like chaos. You had the or even when the Y6 came back, it was just a chaos of things you had to pay attention to, little Easter eggs. I felt like there was really none of that tonight. There was nothing that I really had to pay attention to.
well, there's a couple quick notions before I get into how I felt about the opening overall pacing of the show. One, if you recall, back in the day, yes, it was a different time then, but when Raw first went to 3 hours, it was a little bit of a bumpy road themselves as well. But I think this go around with SmackDown, like I've been touching on for the last few weeks, SmackDown's been experimenting and stuff here and there in the episode you kind of weren't big fans of. I said, hold on, they're seeing what they could fill in that third hour. So I think maybe until after Rumble, maybe right around Chamber time, when we'll probably see the full potential of the 3 hour SmackDown.
Yep. And I can understand that, but I feel like, dang man, this is the WWE. Like they've been here, done this before. Like you said, the Raw has been running 3 hours for whatever amount of years, 20 years up until like 2 months ago. So this shouldn't be something of a hard transition to do. It's
But
just on a
again,
different night.
but look at the rosters then versus now. That's what the variable is. So
Ver-
it's gonna be a few weeks, but again, I got faith in them. They'll figure it out. It's just they gotta figure out, okay, who's been putting
Now,
the
was
work
this a
these last few
move?
months.
Was this a move that's done because WrestleMania season is upon us and we can allow for more things to happen? But again, then when WrestleMania season is done, does 3 hours really benefit SmackDown? If they're gonna like, I mean, cause look, to be honest, what I'm trying to get at is today felt weird. Drew McIntyre coming out, Cody Rhodes with the he's not cleared after just challenging,
Well, but
making a ladder
yeah, but
match.
I,
It just felt like a reach today with the opening segment.
what's kind of hampered it is this transfer portal where nothing's been kind of like jaw dropping extravagant. It's been the guys we kind of assumed would have jumped over because, ironically, if you think about it, they've been involved in this the story at one point or another over the last 5 years.
And then it doesn't make it any better that when Michael Cole is explaining the transfer portal, it sounds like he just making shit up out the ass.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't even make it any more better when Drew McIntyre is kind of like, I don't know if you caught the opening segment. He's just like kind of fumbling through the oh yeah, the WWE SmackDown transfer gimmick. Like,
I think there was they put it out there without really figuring out a whole plan for it. That's what I said. They were probably better off just not doing this and say, okay, we're gonna have a draft, and then just commit to those rosters for at least maybe 6 to 9 months, and then wherever the cards lie, we'll go from there.
I
If
think
SmackDown
the
were to drop down
problem
to 2 hours end of the year, whatever the case, but
I think the problem with this is that, and I don't know this to be true. I have no inside information. This is just me reading previous reports as to how negotiations go. It seems like they're attempting to keep both parties happy. You want to give Netflix everything they want with Raw, and you still want to have like this little like cheat code within their story where you could send people over to the SmackDown USA network, which I'm
but
cool
on the
with that.
but also on the flip side of that, USA could expect the same out of SmackDown that they got from Raw with the 3 hours.
Right. This is
Similar reason why AEW got booted from Fox in Mexico. Fox
and
saw what numbers SmackDown was pulling in, and the numbers this recap show for Dynamite was pulling in. It's like you're not even worth the dime.
and
We
I hate to
know
say
what
it,
this industry can produce out of SmackDown. More importantly, out of the Bloodline. That's the golden goose right now. The entire Blood story, and everyone that's had a role in it, they are part of. They're feeding off said golden goose.
and who's to say that the negotiations might not change because of certain injuries, certain people like getting injured, Bronson Reed being out for maybe 6 months now, things of that might change up certain plans as well. Cause I look at him like a heavyweight, not just in size, but I mean like he's a main eventer in my eyes now.
But also, look who's coming back from injury as well.
Mm.
So
You got,
again,
yep.
and not to be rude, but it's kind of balancing out as usual as it does this time of year. Also, it for the first time in shit at least since AW started, there's a legitimate free agency pool now from guys from New Japan, TNA, GCW, all over the world, down in Mexico, Australia. There is a legitimate pool of people now, on top of the usual folks that are up for contract expirations with the two top companies. I use that term companies loosely.
Mm.
So there will be some magic between now and SummerSlam. We'll see who it benefits. We'll see who usually is expected to fumble face first, but I
Let me
digress.
ask you something. With PLEs being on Saturdays now, do you expect to see these double tapings that we've been seeing now? That there's 3 hours. Like, how does that? Are we going live for the
Well, from
full
what I've
three
been reading,
hours?
we're not going to really get that many tapings or in general, or like consistent until maybe after March, after that Mania tour, I guess. But I don't know. I'm intrigued to see how the schedule goes, but I wouldn't be surprised if they may try to do the week to week live Raws on Netflix. I think that might be the best moving forward, but around the holidays, I think it's probably more likely we're going to see the double tapings.
That'd be a crazy turnaround as a fan and as must be a talent. Like, let's say you got I mean, it might be the same amount of time, but working the 3 hours SmackDown and then having to go overseas to a PLE potentially. It's, you know what I'm saying? Like, man, again, if they could up the pacing of the show, then I'm for it. But just the way that this was tonight, I'm like, really like, I don't know.
Well, like I said, with this being essentially day one, with what they've been experimenting with over the course of the last like 7 8 months, now between now and Mania, we're gonna know who's been putting in the work and who hasn't. Because I wouldn't put it past Triple H to do a Vince McMahon style slaughter of the company. Because again, you see what they're trying to do with these NIL stars. So it's like, hey, they can make you in less than 2 years, sometimes even a few months. So, and with there's a lot of talent that's up for grabs now. So they now's the time where hey, put up or shut up. There is going to be work for you outside of WWE, but as far as here, it's like it's at a point where it's how bad do you want it?
You know what I'm really confused about? Drew McIntyre's usage as of late. he's been going after the bloodline. All right, that's one part. Tonight really threw me off. Like, I don't understand the whole like taking a shot at Kevin Owens. Did he help Kevin Owens? What's the like everything right there was just like I don't understand. Unless it's gonna lead up to some crazy like heel faction of, let's say, Drew, Seth, Kevin Owens, then we might be on to something, but I really don't see tonight's inclusion with Drew McIntyre. I feel like they really the only thing they knew what to do with him was CM Punk,
Well,
and that was probably lightning in a bottle. Like the last year, it's kind of been crazy, or last year and a half.
I think the whole point of I think now that I think about it, the whole point of the SmackDown was to essentially be a go home show for the Netflix show because everything seems to be revolving around that. And once we get past that and Netflix gets on the heels, then we'll kind of see what SmackDown is supposed to. But again, like it's likely Drew's probably might stay on SmackDown. Again, we'll see. I honestly would prefer he'd stay on Raw, but
Which I'm glad you mentioned. Like kind of foreshadowing what should happen on Monday, which I felt like this is the first time. I don't know again if it was pacing, but this was the first time after Paul Heyman came out tonight, and we're gonna jump back to the Andrade match, but just to stay on topic and on course with what we're talking about. Paul Heyman came out tonight, got the pop from the crowd. Now after Solo comes out, it starts to feel like, okay, we've seen this segment already.
we've seen it a few times.
You know,
Again, nothing
then
wrong with it. It's just
it didn't excite me for
they have a
Monday
certain
anymore.
rhythm to where yes, we know it's going to be enjoyable, and they have a cadence to where we kind of know what's going to be said.
Obviously,
So I mean,
Paul Heyman was cooking before Solo came out,
mhm.
so that's always a W. Jacob was cooking in the backstage segment leading up into the
And when is he not?
main event. Right,
Jacob got a lot of mic time today.
a lot. I didn't really like how they was trying to like keep him in the background of it, but I understand it too. But it just didn't look good visually when he's still talking and the cameraman kind of just went away and panned on Solo for that quick few moments.
This is one of those, much like they've done with Roman and Cody, vice versa, whatever. Maybe one of those cinematic meetups on some like mafia type shit might have been more acceptable because
I think so.
again, Bloodline. This has been the golden goose for WWE for the last 5 years, and everything we expect them is up here. Everything that we expect new has to be at this benchmark, no less. So this wasn't quite there. Again, it was fine, but with what we're used to seeing them do, it could have been so much more.
I'm gonna be honest, and this is not me hating on nothing. This is just what I feel. Once again, welcome in your thoughts. The last iterations of the 3v3s with these bloodlines, it hasn't hit for me. The only one that kind of hit was War Games, and you throwing CM Punk in there, so it got different dynamics.
And that's kind of always been the Achilles heel of this lovely stories where we care about the dialogue. The match, it is what it is. Unless it's Roman versus pick a name out of a hat, we kind of don't really care. And it's no fault to them. It's just like I said, it's just the standard that the story has done for all their characters.
Bro, I don't know if the fucking crowd was like asleep because they've been trained and accustomed to 2 hours now, and maybe a little earlier start time if you get there for the double tapings and this and that. But I didn't feel no energy from the crowd at the end of at the end of SmackDown right here.
Well, it seems our new women's champion kind of like they're waiting for that, and once they got that out of the way, they're like, "All right, we're spent." And then they're like,
Yeah,
"Wait a minute, we're still going on," like you said. So again, there was a little bit of fatigue.
yeah, it felt like that little fatigue right there, especially like you mentioned that woman's moment where Tiffany Stratton finally cashed in the Money in the Bank, women's Money in the Bank, your 2024 winner, cashing in on the first episode of 2025, 3 hours SmackDown. Tiffany Stratton. Let's put it up on the
Get the
screen one
word right
more
out of
time.
mouth.
Yeah, right there. We got a little
And
mock up done.
new.
Ooh wee. If she does go around and change that back plate to like a color that suits her, I'd be like, man, that's crazy.
Hear me out. Inside the WWE, or actually the two W's and the overall strap, make that shit hot pink, and inside the plate make it white. Invert it.
Man, that'd be crazy.
We know there's gonna be some pink on this belt by next week, maybe even this Monday.
I think so, but I mean, I think it should too, though. With all the introductions of new championships, I think the women's need an overhaul because that one never really. It was just like a remix of what Roman had, which didn't really. I didn't understand that.
And if you do that color version, like I mentioned, this would again for me personally give me ties back to when Cena brought out the first spinner belt, when Edge slapped Rated R Superstar logo on it, like when RVD tagged the Money in the Bank briefcase, stuff like that.
Mm. I mean, since we here, let's talk about how everything unfolded. Like we had the women's championship match come up in about I guess the 9 p.m. Eastern time hour. That'd be I guess after the first hour leading into the second. And I should say rather it was like more the end of the
The second going
second,
into the
the
third,
third. Yeah,
because
yep.
this is what threw me off. And again, I completely forgot it was 3 hours. Michael Cole says, "Don't go away, folks. We got over an hour left to go." I looked at the clock. I was like, "Wait a minute, huh?" I was like,
This
"Oh
match
yeah."
was this match between Naomi and Nia Jax was very lengthy. It was a good match. Um, After a while, I started noticing some things though. This is where I had issue with this whole cash in. Like I am happy for first off, I want to say I'm happy for Tiffany Stratton
Let
and
it
all
out.
that. We wanted to see her win, but for me personally, it took too long. Once I seen the pacing of that match specifically, I had suspicion. It's the new year. It's the 3 hour SmackDown debut. I didn't see Tiffany Stratton nor Candice at ringside.
Candace was ringside.
Was she? I
Yep.
didn't. I felt like I didn't. I felt like I seen.
She's short as hell. That's why you can't see her. That's why her
Yeah, I
hair's the
felt like
color
I
that it
didn't
is.
see
But in
her.
this case, I'm like,
But I was looking for the blonde hair, and I know I didn't
it's
see
purple.
no. No, no. But I'm saying for Tiffany, I know that for sure I didn't see no Tiffy out there. So after a while, I'm like, oh yeah, she's gonna come
Well,
out.
again, over the last couple of weeks, she's kind of been borderline excommunicated from being ringside. That again,
Mm,
they kind of put that in the episodes that you haven't really been fond of.
yeah. So I'm like,
Don't worry,
yeah,
I got you.
Tiffy,
So
man.
they have laid it out there. So again, I kind of didn't expect her to come out there. Um, when she did when she blue balled us with the first attempt, I got to thinking, are they really gonna have her take it off of Liv or Rhea? That's what my mind went.
I'm not
Because
gonna lie. I was
I was
almost
already prepped
upset.
myself. I was already prepped myself for that.
I was almost upset if she didn't cash in right there in this moment. I was gonna be done with the fake cash ins and because that was probably would have been the worst one right there. Throw the referee over the thing,
But
but at the end
this
though, it
was
was
done
beautifully set up.
perfect, like beautifully.
Yeah, it was set up right because all the pieces had Naomi had to get taken out. You know what I'm saying? Then Bianca
Every
had the
single person had
flatliner.
a steel card. But before we get to that, that match was incredible. I have never seen Nia bump like that before.
Man,
I don't think she's ever bumped like that before.
she's been getting better every week. She's getting better with you know what I mean with time.
Have you ever
Like
seen her
wow.
take a Samoan drop?
Shit.
Exactly.
And even tonight
This,
she take the KOD. Like I mean, she's taking that in the last
but again,
before prior, but
Naomi isn't as big as respectfully isn't as big as Bianca or Jade.
mm-hmm.
So like Nia was busting her fucking ass, respectfully.
Man.
Like hats off to her.
And this is like the second time they put on a banger of a match like this because
And
it
I'm
was
gonna
a
be
few
honest,
months ago they did this.
this is the best match she's had since her first match with Bailey and her. I think in NXT she had a match with Asuka that was pretty damn good as well.
Man,
Like I was
but
blown away
again, the
by that.
pacing, but again, like that match was so good. But then once we got to a certain point, I was like, they're not gonna give Naomi this. All the false finishes.
Well, like, again, I was I was thinking that they might have done it because Cole kept touching on the fact that she hadn't held that title in almost 10 years.
Yeah, I ain't gonna
So
lie.
I was like,
Finn Balor
and
either, and we see. You know what I
but
mean, it's just
but again, the way as much offense as she was getting, I was like, wait, they might actually do it
it looked
because
convincing
can't
for a
because
second.
especially Candace was barely involved in the match. It was a clean match for the most part, except for the fact when towards the end of it where the bullshit happened. But again, it was I was almost sold. And then when we get the first snafu catch where we get blue balled, we get the finish with everything, and then for Tiffany to lay out Nia, lay out Candace, for shits and giggles, drop Bianca because Bianca just happened to be there, just still standing, and that crowd is losing their fucking minds.
Yeah. Now let me ask you: you feel like that moment right there was it long overdue? Was it just right? Could it have been better at a bigger
This
PLE?
this is one of those in the way that it happened, kind of made up for everything because that segment alone was incredible. Like I said, once she helped Nia win the match, I started thinking, wait, Rhea lives Monday. Are we actually going to do that? Instead of making her a babyface, we're going to keep her as a heel or whatever the case may be. Because if she happens to get off of Rhea, imagine what that does for her.
Yeah.
Like again, like I was like, wait a minute, but this was excellent.
See, like I was kind of removing that from my mind for a second. To be honest, like I thought, okay, if she don't cash in, they're probably gonna wait for a bigger moment for her
It
to
was
cash in on
I would say it
Nia.
was either today, Netflix, or bust. After that, it's one of those you're really in that territory. You better hurry up and do it. But this is again that for lack of a better term, the perfect moment to climax. With especially with it being the debut episode, so to speak.
It's Tiffy time. We are in a new women's era. It's safe to say. Um,
And now again,
the two
I'm
previous
curious.
champions,
I'm curious
Nia
to see
Jax and
what she's
Bailey.
going to do at the top.
Yeah, I mean this is really her time to show. You know what I mean? To show out and put on. This is I haven't seen a fresher champion than this in
In
a
a
while.
while,
Like
I
she's
think it might have been since Naomi first won the women's title.
I mean, we talking about. We're talking about maybe just 2 years ago. Wasn't she just in NXT? Maybe just 2 years ago.
Yeah,
Mm, let that sink in, y'all.
and just look at the work that she's done along the way. I don't think she was an NXT champion, was she?
I feel like she was, or she competed for it. I
I
feel
know
like I
she
just watched
competed.
the match. Did Becky Lynch beat her for the championship?
She beat Lyra, or
Okay.
vice versa, one of the two.
Yeah, Tiffany though she came a long way. She really on top now. It's Tiffany time. You know what I'm saying? That to me right now, that was the best highlight of the night. This was it. You
Well,
remove this to me, I think maybe Paul Heyman in the ring, but this was it. Jay Uso getting a pop from the entrance. You know he's always a W. Shout out to Jay. Nothing else stood
one,
out
one,
to me.
one, one thing I thought was interesting was I'm intrigued to see what where they're gonna go with Shinsuke and LA Knight.
That bothered me too. I'm glad you know
It
you
didn't
went there.
bother me, but it's what I was definitely scratching my head.
It bothered me because I feel like now I'm seeing try hard. LA Knight vibes.
or they're trying to see
Tonight
if
felt very try hard from him. It felt very rough on a 3 hour episode. They made his segment. I don't know if it was him or how they booked it, but that felt very rushed, not important. Again, I don't know, like in the landscape where Roman Reigns is out the picture, you're gonna tell me LA Knight could have not challenged or been a challenger for Cody Rhodes to do something fresh.
well, here's the problem: he's not a heel,
You see, that's their problem when they booked him that way. Why
and
flip him?
they're probably trying to do that with him. The problem is Shinsuke's already a heel, but
Yep.
Shinsuke's one of those guys to where we're gonna love him regardless. But
Right.
so again, LA Knight's best chance to become a heel is to stop saying yeah.
And I've said this a few weeks ago. Us as fans, sometimes we love the cool bad heels. Like you tell me tonight, Andrade versus Shinsuke looked cool as fuck coming out with the victory. I didn't feel like, oh, he was a sleazy heel that doesn't deserve to win. I seen him win, how he celebrated after. I'm like, yeah, this was a hard fought victory. Like Shinsuke is badass, especially at his age right now. Like, yeah. So how do we? Not to say I want to dethrone Shinsuke, but do we see some dirty tactics from LA Knight to get the strap back?
We're gonna have to.
Like, it has to, right?
It's one
Like,
of those. No, it's not. It's like we have to, or else again, like I said earlier, we see the crop that Triple H is building in NXT, and now the newly renamed Level Up Evolve.
thank you, Amethyst.
Thank you,
Appreciate you.
Amethyst.
Said Tiffany was NXT champion. Becky beat her. I feel like I just recently seen that on something I was watching. Might have been one of them profiles, the Becky Lynch profile on Netflix. I think it really was because she said I did everything but become NXT champion. Then they showed, the little Victor. Yeah, I think it was that. Man, shout out to the
No.
profiles, man. Profiles. Razor wasn't fucking with the profiles. Chat, did y'all catch any content that been uploaded to Netflix so
I thought
far?
I wanted them to be longer. I was hoping they'd be at least be like 15 minutes.
I
That
know,
was
I agree.
those are
After
basically
watching
TikTok
them,
highlight reels
yeah, after watching them, and then they have the same format. Like you're just
for the legend.
basically, yeah, you running down the accolades basically, which is cool. But again, it felt the very same format. It didn't feel like nothing was being differentiated. Lyra then beat Becky. Yup, Razor was right on that. I remember that because that was kind of like the passing of the torch. Becky kind of the Lyra right there. But Shinsuke, Andrade, they put on a good match. I don't know where Andrade goes. Like I hope Charlotte, like him and Charlotte, kind of like it does something for him on screen. For him, I don't know, but because he's there, he's just
Mhm.
I don't know. He might be missing
Just got
having
to commit to
that.
something.
Yeah, like there's something there, but again, it's not enough to get him over the hump. He fell short to LA Knight. He's falling short to Shinsuke.
Well, he's still got to run. He's still got to finish it with Mello.
Speaking about Melo, you took the thoughts right out of my head. I wanted to get to that backstage segment again. He's. I need Melo to not miss. I feel like this is the Melo that's like, like this is the kid that thought he can hoop, and now he's in the gym with hoopers, and he's just doing foolish shit, trying to shoot from half court, take hook shots. Like, nah, get back to your form, bro.
He's become that one high school rec center kid that's now at a camp with D1 athletes.
Yes, like, cause every time I see him now, Cody Rhodes just pushing him, sweeping him off his feet like love at first sight. Now he thinks he got allies. Like what allies you thought you had there when you step into Sami Zayn requesting his rematch?
I do like they have some faith in him to see where he stands against the top dogs,
Yeah, I do.
but
I do appreciate that.
so that I'm kind of looking at it in that light because I do have hope for him to be successful. And I thought the back with him and Sam was great, even though he got it was outnumbered 3-on-1. I thought it was a good starting point.
You know what's my issue? I think I'm too trained because I went back on Netflix and I watched some of those old Raw episodes. Now, obviously, I feel like so far they have a small selection, right? They didn't put up every weekly Raw episode just yet. I think they just want to highlight the best Raws that they've had, right? But I noticed something in those prior Raw episodes that the people they wanted to push, they wouldn't put them in bad positions that was like, like we're gonna diminish their role. For
And I
example,
don't think this is that.
I feel like when I watched Shawn Michaels versus I'm watching a promo on Raw for Shawn Michaels versus Undertaker and Bad Blood Hell in a Cell. Shawn is like, look, man, look, Vince, I know what you're trying to do. You're trying to stack the odds because I already beat this dead man before. But now you're trying to lock me in the cage with death itself. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like back in the days, unless they really wanted to bury you, like what Sean was trying to do with Brett and stuff, like there was a way to still make people look
Back.
strong.
I need to tell you this mano a mano.
You want to come back from the screen, okay?
Yeah. I need to look at you when I tell you this. What have we been talking about for both shows? People are afraid to show legitimate personality and character.
Yep,
Everyone feels need to be too cookie cutter.
yep. You've been saying
There's
that.
personality there. We see glimmers here and there. That's what's holding guys, maybe guys like Melo back, Andrade back. It's just they're afraid to come out of that shell.
Yep.
So and I think once they kind of get and they're putting them against guys like Cody who had to do it on their own. They're putting them against like with Sammy and the Usos who learned how to come out on their own. They're trying to beat it out of them.
Mm-hmm. And it to me, I don't know. I feel like he's got an uphill battle right now. Like maybe he do need that transfer portal head over to Raw, but I don't really like
And
Carmelo
again,
style.
and Raw will be the best bet for him because if you think about it, for lack of a better term, his draft class is there. You got Braun, you got Ilya, you got Gunther. I'm sure you could have some him and J Man stay up there. I don't know, Sammy. Who knows? It would be fun to watch him and Seth go at it. Punk could teach him how to talk on the mic. John Cena could teach him a thing or two.
Is there a world where does he need to go back to NXT?
I think the way NXT is right now, you do have to be very careful what you're doing because they got a lot of guys there that are gaining substantial momentum. And yes, Melo is a former NXT champion over there. I can see a world where he might get lost in the shuffle of new folks there.
Because again, this is not what I picture from a former NXT champion. Like I feel like he might be one of the worst NXT champions to come up or have a. He's having a rocky run, a rocky start.
It's definitely been awkward because again, we know the guy's talented. His matches bell to bell are damn near perfect, and it's like there's a lot of guys there. It's like what on earth is missing? Is it
We
you beating yourself up with too much pressure? Is it you trying too hard in this field here and there? Get over it yourself. Like I said, do what brought you to the dance. Somewhere on the line, you changed some routine. You changed the recipe.
But I think you know
But
what I could look back on right now and think a lot of the stuff that made Mello money and NXT was like he had a lot of filmed stuff, a lot of film vignette. You know, maybe they should go back to that, refresh him a little bit, and then
do
bring
more
him
of those
back to the
barbershop
scene.
promos that he was doing with Andrade.
Mm-hmm. But it gotta really be cool, man, because them having him in these backstage scenarios where it feel like it's happening in real time. Like we just watch Cody Rhodes walk from the ring to backstage and just shove like that shit is crazy. We just it's not doing nothing for his character.
Let me ask you something. I think the same goes for both parties involved. Did Triple H and Shawn Michaels make the mistake of breaking up him and Trick Williams?
I think so. I don't even think it was necessary. I think they tried to. I don't know. I could be wrong. I think they tried to run that HBK Diesel storyline between them a
Yeah,
little too fast, and that's the problem with. Well, it's not the problem, but I think NXT gets so many fire storylines, and then by the time it comes to the main roster, things get a reset. So the popularity that we know these guys for, with the exception of a Braun Breaker, the exception of a Gunther, there's very few exceptions.
but also like they kind of instead of easing them onto the main roster, they just threw them there. Now again, not everyone's gonna thrive like a Gunther or a Braun or even a Rhea or a Kevin Owens.
And not just throw them there. You put them number one draft pick, highly touted, have them lose to Cody. You don't do that to the other like people that came up. You had Gunther on again, like we just said. Not everybody's gonna be those things, but this is a former NXT champion, a former North American champion. So I would, I would think like I don't know. It's just
And at the same time, it's one of those. If you're Triple H, do you put your best friend in check saying, "I thought you said he was ready"?
and then NXT
You,
concerns me a little bit. Like you said, there's a lot of talent over there, but
there's a lot of fast tracking.
yeah, all right. We got guys like Wesley, right? I like Wesley, but I think he's more fitted for a tag team than continuing to get thrown around by Obafemi in North America any chance they get with that. Like they did his singles run, and I felt like when they did the Rascals thing, they should have maybe attempted to like maybe keep that
Yeah,
somehow. But
because
instead, we giving
because
it to
I promise you, if you'd have got the Rascals and the Motor City Machine Guns on SmackDown, all five of them, that would have popped a number.
the tag team division would have been
And not
crazy.
only that, that would have done wonders for TNA in their library.
Like I'm glad you mentioned the Motor City Machine Guns. Another match that happened tonight, Challenger DIY for the rematch for their belts. Like that's a good match that I like. But then we got the foolery. We got Pretty Deadly.
I actually didn't mind the forward this go around because to me, they're trying to again, like I said, trying to figure out what's the state of the division. Like like who do they care about? Like who can go piss up a rope? But I think if we get what was it? Are they LDF?
Yeah. Yep. Well, they call
L,
them
L,
Angel and Humberto when them just them two. But yeah,
yeah, look out. Yeah, if we get them and Pretty Deadly, if we get them more featured in the mix on a more serious note in these situations, it
you
might
never
create
really
more of a.
fucked with Humberto, I think. But I've been high on Angel and Humberto. I've always fucked with them. I don't know
I don't
why.
mind Humberto. Angel, I think, is the more talented one.
The Angels. Whew, I've
But
always
I'm more intrigued to see what Pretty Deadly can do
bro, when he
because,
was doing his stuff
because
in what was it, 205 Live, Angel Garza, the pants off, throwing it, I felt like, bro, this dude, he gets it.
but no,
Like that's a
granted,
fucking
they're both
heel.
I think second or third generation wrestlers, so that's good for them because they have the knowledge already. But one's vastly more improved than the other. Now,
Yeah,
like on
whom
the flip side, with Pretty Deadly, I feel they were called from NXT too soon, but again, they've become crowd favorites. Both men are extremely talented, just they're never really in the ring.
I feel like
So,
Pretty Deadly is one of those tag teams you need out there, like a troll team, like you know what I mean? Like
but
it's just one of those teams that's
what's crazy is they could go,
yeah, they put on good matches on NXT, even on SmackDown, but they don't do enough now as of recent. They
and that's
to like,
that's the
yeah.
problem.
I
Like I
understand
said,
one of
like I
them
said,
was coming back from injury, but
even against the Gorillas, like those 5 teams alone, that could be a very promising division. That's not even counting the Street Profits.
the
Like I
one
said,
thing
that division could be a sleeper this year.
which they kind of just shitted on them, which I respect the Motor City shit, the Motor City Machine Guns for that promo. They just came in. We the best tag team. It only took us 2 matches to get them things. I respect that. Johnny
Like,
Gargano winning me over too. Apollo Stooge, that got it. I love it. Apollo Stooge,
thank you, Tommaso.
man, that had it right there. I was fucking crying. I'm like, nah, he ain't say that. Yeah, he said it.
All,
By God, he said it.
all they need is Candice LeRae and Austin Theory, and then we're good.
Yeah, getting some traction there. And that's what I'm talking about, like the good callbacks, because I don't know what's going on with some of the things that we've been seeing. Again, the fast tracking of, like we said, NXT, so it concerns me. Like if we got to call people up, the
Now again, like, don't get me wrong. There's some folks again. I wouldn't mind seeing them for a cup of coffee to just test the waters. But aside from that, it's just
it's only one person right now, maybe two. And if Tony D'Angelo come up, he would have to come up with the family. If he comes up by himself, to me, you're killing it. You're killing the gimmick.
okay. That I'll accept that. I wouldn't mind seeing Eddie Thorpe or Obafemi test them out.
Yeah, Obafemi is definitely one that I would like to see it. You know what I mean, on the main roster.
Definitely Jade and Lola.
Hmm.
The international contingent could probably stay there for at least 6 months or a year. At least let them at least build that brand up on an international note because of all the partnerships they got going on right now. I would love to see Roxanne and Cora Jade as well. But the problem is, where do you put them?
Right. And then they get lost in the
Because
shuffle kind
no,
of right now.
they're talented, but again, it's one of those because of their size.
Hmm.
Because
It's
they're
gonna be
not that.
tough.
Yeah,
And that's my concern right now. That it's like, damn, and on the main roster, for lack of what I'm trying to say, it's the land of the giants out there. You know, like
it's becoming like that again. But it's becoming essentially the land of the Titans more so because you have yes, there's all shapes and sizes there, but look at like both like whether it's men or women, like they're all of like within the respective divisions of equal strength. Damn near it seems like so they're raising the like. There's a certain crop of people on both on Raw and SmackDown that are raising the bar themselves, which puts another 30 to 50% in the bubble. Like, okay, are you going to step up too, or do we got to rotate you around or show you the door?
it's like I said about, I was telling this to my wifey the other day. EO Scott to me makes up her height with her offense. Like she could
I was
chop a
saying
tree.
too,
Yeah, they could chop a tree down and then springboard, and it make them look tall. Like you kind of like,
or
damn, they
even
making
Zoe
up.
Stark and Shayna Baszler.
Mm-hmm.
They got the
Chad
match.
Gable, one that doesn't high fly. He might do a moonsault here
Ilya
and there.
Dragunov.
Another one. They make up for the height with the hard hitting
Even Pete.
believability.
Don't call him Butch Dunn.
Yeah.
Tyler Bate down in NXT whenever he comes back from injury.
Even I'm starting to really like Nathan Frazier too. Like he's not as big, but I feel like him and Nexium, whether they together or separate, like
He's starting
I
to grow on me. I must admit.
yeah, yeah. They got a story there, like, and that's a unique story too. That one I haven't seen on the main roster. Like it's
Him pulling
crazy.
double duty won me over with a broken nose and probably broken ribs.
Hmm. And then a week or two later, Exium having, I don't know if he had to do it or whatever, or he chose to, but then he did it, and then he saw how it felt, how Frazier held him down after doing double duty. Like it was like dope ass shit. I'm like, okay, just when you
That
think they got some
that could be the
turmoil.
match that stand and deliver, and I wouldn't mind seeing that.
What else we had happen on SmackDown? We
But
had
real quick before we get back to that, There's one in that you and I did not mention that would be worthy of main roster, and I find it kind of interesting, and that's Ethan Page. Why do we not feel like he would work there right now?
That's a good question. I don't really have a good answer, but if I have to give you an answer off the top of my mind, it's like we've been saying, the roster is so heavy right now that okay, you put him there as a heel, but it's like we have better heels that are more cool, more you like, you know what I'm saying?
Aside from the Bloodline and Kevin Owens, what heels are on SmackDown?
Right now, I mean, you got Carmelo Hayes attempting to be one. I don't know what he's
I'm
doing.
talking about contenders for Cody
Shinsuke,
Rhodes.
that's the problem. Like,
Exactly. Like I said, he could fit that role, but there's something within what he's doing right now, or what they're trying to get out of him, doesn't scream main roster right now. Yet there's other guys that he's obviously more talented than. We see them as main roster ready before him.
yeah, I mean, because the reason I say, look, the last two people I named from NXT that were guys were baby faces. Obafemi, he can be either or, but I look at him
Tony D could be
like,
either or as well.
yeah,
We didn't
either
name a
or as
single
well.
heel.
Yeah. But the one that I haven't seen been cheered on in NXT was Ethan Page. Like he's coming straight like heel so far. His run has been heel.
But I'm
So I
saying, like, in a brand that we desperately need heels, we have one in NXT. It's just for some reason we don't think he's ready yet. Actually, we did name one heel, Eddie Thorpe. Where I named one, but still, it's like Ethan Page got 20 years more experience than Eddie Thorpe. Yet,
and Obafemi.
yeah,
It's just again like I'm looking at. Then for me personally, it comes down to physique. Okay, I'm more intrigued by a Obafemi versus a Gunther, a Obafemi versus a Shinsuke Pat. I'm not really. I don't really want to see Ethan Page versus. Oh, I mean, I guess Cody. Who's the other babyface? Then
you
you
wouldn't
know
mind the promos
that's it. Yo,
with
that's crazy. We only got one babyface champion right now. Gunther, Braun Breaker. Unless you want to consider Braun a face, but he do heal shit. He's like a tweener
Braun.
to me.
Braun ain't no baby fish right now.
But
I
you
mean,
know, he comes out to the crowd, the dogs. And
okay,
he
okay,
plays
you,
it.
you
I
could probably
mean,
you could probably chalk him. He could probably chalk him as a baby face, but
he's
yeah.
kind of a weird one. Cause he go out and demolishes the baby
Well,
faces.
War Machine, they're baby
The
faces.
the tag team. I was gonna include the tag team,
You kind of have
but then
to.
that'd be two. Then that'd be two.
um,
Cody and them. Now you want to include the women's side. Um, not nah. I mean the women's tag team,
yeah.
which I mean that's cool because I'm fine with the heels and the women's side right now. Like
But like I said, I just thought it was interesting how, again, like I said, SmackDown needs heels, and there is one that could do something with Cody, but we don't feel like he's main roster ready yet. I thought that was interesting.
and they got history. You know the little AEW. They could go
AEW,
there,
NWA, TNA.
but I don't know. I mean, again, that's a lot of things that do we fast. You know, do we just bring them up? Like, do we need? You know, we could use an extra heel up here on SmackDown to I still don't think that Cody's walking out Royal Rumble as champion though. Something
I
about me
hope
to
not.
like I feel like I'm gonna be wrong, but
I
he
I,
doesn't
I
have
hope.
to be pinned. This could be some fool. Anybody could go up there and grab the title. And what if there's a vacant championship? What if the final boss just goes up there and says, "Nah, this is vacant."
You know how funny
Anything
that'd
can
be.
happen.
I mean, that probably won't happen, but that'd be funny as hell.
Yeah, like what if somebody other than the two competitors in the match bring the belt off of the hanger, the holder? Like what happens then? Is the match thrown out? Is it a draw? Do we have to have a rematch? Am I,
To
you
me,
know?
it's obvious. Again, we're definitely going to get a new belt design, but are we actually? My question is, are we actually getting the Wing Dingle back finally, or some variation of it?
Do you feel like there was some truth to what Drew McIntyre was saying tonight? He said to Cody that he's gonna throw away everything he's worked for, like basically with this ladder match and just the whole run. Like it's bad enough that people feel the
I can
run's
see
been
that.
away.
I can see that for this particular reason right here, because the belt that would ultimately go bye bye is Roman's belt, the belt that had the coveted 13,016 day reign. That belt, and that's one thing that Drew will never have. Much like when Roman had the two Universal and the WWE belt, Roman would tell Cody, "Have you ever held this one? Hell, your family never competed for this one."
Hmm. So Cody could potentially make a foolish decision and go for the other belt. Man, I think we've spoken about this on the last episode too. What can happen with Cody and the switching of the belts? What if Kevin gets one? Do they have to grab both belts? I'm assuming they're gonna put it on the that gold hanger that holds both the belts.
Yeah, just the same one that holds the men's bank briefcase.
Yeah. So I'm gonna assume they're gonna have to take that off entirely instead of just grab one individual championship.
It'd be nice if the ref kind of grabs both belts and then straps them on. That'd be a cool moment, but they'll probably already be there.
Yeah.
But I mean, the likely thing is Cody will win. I would hope they give the belt to Kevin because because Cody doesn't need a belt at all, and Kevin being an absolute menace to Nick Aldis for the belt would be kind of fun to watch.
That's something we didn't really mention too in the
Or
beginning.
this could be a route for us to give Randy number 15.
That pull apart was weak.
Yeah,
I didn't enjoy it. That pull
it
apart. I just had to put that out
I
there.
think again, I think that Cody's kind of oversaturated himself with that because he's trying to be the fighting champion, but he's got the hurt neck, and he's not
Just
wearing the break neck. Was he wearing a neck brace or no? I didn't pay attention to that.
no.
See, again, you sell the neck when he drops you to the floor. You were in a neck brace for one segment last week,
And he
and
went on to say he's not cleared.
yeah, so make up your fucking mind. Attention to detail.
Hmm.
Your daddy taught you better, Cody.
I'm not gonna lie. Again, I'm gonna say it because it's how I feel. 3 hours of SmackDown, and this felt like one of those like bad 3 hours of Raw with the minus of the Tiffany Stratton. I mean, everything else felt like I was waiting for something to happen. To be honest,
Well,
and maybe you're right to go home for the Netflix. Like after we settle in with Netflix, we get tribal, combat settled. Then we could look forward to that coming SmackDown and things to come then. I'm open to that. But just that was just my first thoughts of what we seen tonight. Um, Chelsea Green accompanying Piper Niven for her match against Michin. I thought Chelsea Green looked she looked nice in the American flag that.
you need to keep that Lady Liberty gimmick.
Yeah, that mint color that was something right there. I'm not gonna lie. the USA pattern. It was cool. I was like, all right, she's not having a match, so I'm gonna just charge it to the game. Piper Nivens and Michin, they did their thing.
Again,
Um,
two talented women. I'm always pleasantly happy when Piper gets a chance to show what she can do because she's one of the more underrated women they have, if not the most underrated woman on the whole roster.
Usually I'm bothered by somebody when they change their outfit so much, but Michin, she just has so much fun whenever she do it. So I really enjoy it whenever, like, one week she's wearing the plaid shirt around the shorts. You know what I'm saying? And then today she's out in the ring gear. Like, it
You,
suits the
you know what it
occasion.
reminds me of? You know how every week RV always come out with a different spray painted singlet? That's what this
Hmm.
reminds me of.
Having fun. I'm not. She's out there competing. She's doing this new twerking thing in the ring. She's having fun. Because one could assume that at this point, it's up to them to have the fun, right? Like, they got some freedom more than the years past to go out there and have some fun.
Well,
So
again, they have been getting looser with what they're able to do out on camera these days.
yeah. So you know what I'm saying? It's looking like a fun time. How'd you
If
feel
it, if
about that match? You thought they put
I thought
on?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. Like I said, those two again. I never get tired of watching them perform. They're very talented. Again, like I said Piper's definitely the most underrated. So again, it's always fun to see them. Hopefully, we see more of them in some capacity, maybe for Chelsea's belt down the road.
Yeah, okay. I do think, like, the way Chelsea, she could potentially have a great match with Michin, like they did they did it for the finals, right?
Yeah, and before that, they had a dumpster match, and yeah,
Yeah, so they could definitely put on for that
they're one and
championship.
one.
Mm. What else we had going on the SmackDown was the did we cover everything? Then the main event.
Yeah, we got the main event.
Yeah, so I
Like I said, for the
honestly
most part, everything was pretty. I guess everything's straightforward. Every The two main topics were Cody and KO, and the. Oh, also, real quick, that video package for Tribal Combat.
talk about it.
Once again, they outdid themselves. The story of the Ulafala, the history of the Anwai Fatu dynasty. You even had a little snippet of The Rock stating the only wrestling royalty,
Mm,
the only royal family.
man, that
And
was
again,
fire. So again, there was a few moments tonight between the bloodline. I felt like they really wanted to put some presence on what's gonna happen on Netflix. That, to me, that package right there. You seen Yokozuna in the package, like, you know what I'm saying? They giving us everybody
Umaga,
on with them. Yeah, like, come on, that was too fire right there. I
High
was
T, Rocky
underwhelmed
Johnson.
by this matchup, the main
I
event
was
matchup.
impressed by this. I think this is the first time since probably this time last year that Jey Uso was in Bloodline colors. From the red glasses to the shirt to the pants. Usually he's in the powder blue, the hot pink. My only critique is I kind of wish that we heard the day one ish tag team theme song as opposed to this one. That would have been a nice little fun surprise. And another thing I thought was great was Lillian Garcia, the Hall of Fame ring announcer, as Michael Cole dubbed her, listed them as Jimmy, Jay, and Sammy, the Usos. So Sammy Uso has been official. Put it on the
Hmm.
docket.
And you seen they got in the corner tonight. They did the trio.
Oh, it was amazing.
Ooh, yeah, they got Jay hyped up. Jimmy followed, and Sammy was the last
but
one.
but
It was
again,
fine.
definitely Jay itching back into the colors. And
Mm,
we even saw as later in the match snippets of Crash Out Jay. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in the coming months.
I mean, I kind of agree with Amethyst right here. She said, I do believe Roman wins because the Timu bloodline has been given the upper hand a lot lately, and they won tonight.
Well, let's get into that real quick. What a Solo wins. Then what?
I don't see it happening clean if that does happen. If it happens clean, then I'm shocked, surprised.
But whether it's cleaner or chicanery, this is something we have that is a very likely possibility. And from what I've been seeing on the internet, is by a slim margin the odds favorite. A lot of people want Solo to win because they feel Roman has run his course.
Don't tell me they flopping again.
They are. They're
No,
indecisive. They are
no,
indecisive.
it can't be.
It's like 51 and 2/3 versus 49 and a third or whatever. That's like how close it is.
That's insane.
And again, it's been flip flopping, but I've seen a growing number of folks being okay and accepting with the fact that Solo Sokoa might walk away with the Ulafala.
Man, I can't see it. But
I
if I
can't
have,
see it either. I want to know what they're having so I can see it with them.
yeah, I can't see that.
But it would be fascinating if they go that route.
Man, I think Netflix January 6th is gonna be treated like it's gonna have a PLE vibe to me.
Most
You got
definitely.
Travis Scott. Have they given us an exact runtime on that? But if not, I'm assuming we should expect close to three
I-
hours.
If with the announcement of certain shows that are coming up that are going to be live shows, for example, the go home show for WrestleMania will be in my hometown. I will try to make it to that show.
Mm,
We'll see what my wallet says about that. But if those show start times are any indication, it's looking like it might be the usual start times.
mm.
They,
Yeah,
they
cause
it looks like they're sticking with that.
mm. I feel like this is going like I don't know about going forward, but again, this might be a triumphant win for Roman, or we can really see the powers that be, the final boss. Whether it's something's gonna happen that Monday.
What if it's a no contest?
There has to be a winner, right?
Again, you mentioned the final boss. What if you lace both of them out, and that's how we go off the air? Again, this is a road we may have to go down. Maybe we see the Rock holding the Ulafala. Maybe it cuts out before he grabs the Ulafala.
Mm.
Again,
Do we
these
see
are
a
bridges.
world where something close to like what happened at WrestleMania happens for this tribal combat match? Where I mean, they said expect legends on Raw.
And speaking of legends, I've been saying for months, maybe even actually for longer than that, is do we finally see Rikishi and King Haku?
Mm.
Because again, as of right now, aside from The Rock, those two are the elders of the family. And if Haku comes out then and is deemed as an elder of the family, then that's almost certain that The Rock's got some pull in something. Maybe Haku, Rikishi, and The Rock have their own little plans going with who they got coming in later on. Who knows?
Mm.
Maybe Rikishi brings in Zilla to represent The Rock. I don't know.
I'm not gonna lie too. I feel like
Maybe Haku brings in Hikuleo to represent The Rock, and then it's just the 5 of them.
there was something in body language I noticed tonight with Paul Heyman. He seemed a
Oh
little bit
yeah.
confident. He seemed a little bit confident, like walking into the ring. What he's saying on the mic, aside from the moment where he told Solo he feel like he gonna piss his pants. Of course he's gonna be scared of Solo. He can't defend himself. The man's like 65 years old.
So when say The Rock comes out, and again, this is another road we may have to go down. I don't know how Amethyst is gonna feel about it because so far she's been saying pissed off to all my other ideas.
I'm screaming.
But what if once again, coming to the aid of the OTC, the Second City Saint?
Mm.
You mentioned something that said with WrestleMania. Punk comes in
Mm-hmm.
to help. Seth comes in to intervene. Maybe even I doubt Cody. He's gonna maybe even Cody with KO. On top of Drew McIntyre, and we have something similar to another Avenger style face off.
This is why I'm thinking like again the big match. Remember when we had Snake Eyes on here? Thinking for like WrestleMania. Let's say if the belt ends up being vacated at Royal Rumble, Cody's championship. We can have a scenario where we walking out of WrestleMania well, maybe not undoubtedly. We got a 10% chance of Cody maybe walking out, unless he's not in the match. But you have a superstar main event match. It could get crazy. It can get crazy. I'm thinking because I remember the favor like being.
Now think about it, it's 3 hours for this inaugural Raw long enough.
I have faith to be honest because they're on Netflix that the pace of that show is going to be way better than what we seen tonight. And you're right, it might not be enough, but I'd rather things feel rushed and all of that stuff than what this
Because
drag
not
tonight.
because the stuff with the tribal combat, Punk versus Seth, Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre, that might be 2 hours by itself. And then you still got the again. Let's address the elephant in the room real quick. In less than 72 hours, actually, at the time of this airing, in let's see, yeah, no, bro, a little over 72 hours. The final time is now. The first of 40 dates will commence. We don't know what's going to happen. From what I've seen, each show is going to have its own commemorative merchandise. But it's starting, folks.
Mm.
The
That's what I'm
champ is
saying.
here
Like
one last time.
that's why I say again the inclusion of this tribal combat. We seen John Cena insert himself once before to
And this is
attack
this is no
Solo.
shade at Liv versus Rhea or let's see, is there another women's match that day? Either way, again, there's no shame else on the card. It's just emotionally, Monday's going to be an absolute roller coaster.
Mm.
Not because
This
it's
is
the
gonna be
first nothing.
special.
It's just like I said, this Raw feels like it could be worthy of not only PLE but of one of the big four.
Mm.
Just based on the card alone, it's loaded. And who knows what else we got going on?
No, it's gonna be a
We can
spectacle
only
for real.
imagine.
It's not just your ordinary episode of Raw or SmackDown when we get performances, Rock appearances, Cena appearances to kick off the retirement. Like, there's a lot of implications going
Granted, a
forward.
lot of it could be wishful thinking, but still, that's the beautiful thing about this.
Hell yeah.
The great things happen this when, especially comes when to firsts.
But just the way that things, ended tonight, it didn't really make me look forward to like Raw. I already look forward to Raw separately. This episode of SmackDown did nothing to fuel that for me, to be honest.
Mhm.
Like I'm
Like I
already
said,
going in with a certain amount
th-
of hype for Raw on Netflix.
this was evaluation day for some of the talent, or
I could
day
dig
one
that.
of evaluation day. Like I said, I wouldn't put it past Triple H to let go some folks, a good number of folks.
Mm.
I'm not saying he would. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. 'Cause like I said, I want to. I don't know if it might have been recent when he was on Pat McShow during the NFL draft, where he kind of says like he's giving folks like a window of X amount of years. If they can't get their shit together in X amount of years, on to the next one. So he's reinventing the machine, but he's making the machine more fluid to where it will function with literally anybody and anything. He's made it self sufficient, better than Vince ever dreamt of, with Vince's ideas, and he's followed them to how Vince initially intended them to be. And again, it's working better than anyone could have thought. And he's on top of that, he's locking down actual all-star talent. He's getting the big money contracts that Vince always dreamt of getting.
Mm.
Again, he's the game for a reason. He was the cerebral assassin for a reason. So I'm not saying I have high hopes for this Monday, but it's one of those. The table's already been
Oh
set.
no. Oh no. Yeah. I feel like the again, what we're given, Liv, Rhea, Roman, Solo. I'm already good with that. Then
Allegedly,
Seth, Punk.
allegedly, we're getting a very special debut near and dear to my heart.
Mm.
Cero miedo. They
Can't wait for
showed his
that.
face in the last vignette.
Yep. Can't forget to mention that. It was clear cut this time. Look like the logo,
They
the
were
mask.
not bashful. They said, "Fuck you, Dave Meltzer."
Mm. So I think there's gonna be everything special on that episode.
But also, um, after confirming my theory, I do appreciate the fact that they kind of made public why the women's IC final set for the following, because they felt like that would have got lost in the shuffle for what they got planned. So again, I understand it. I respect it. I'm glad they're honest about it, because that match will be special.
Yeah. Again, it's gonna be, what I'm saying, a ride. It's crazy to think that like we here in January. Next month is the Royal Rumble. We're gearing up. It sounds like we're always saying that around here, but that's a good thing because
We are
that
officially 30 days from the Rumble.
mm, do we
So
expect any surprise announce Royal Rumble? I feel like Cena might have. Did he already announce that he's gonna be in the Rumble?
yeah, he
Like,
he announced it when he announced his retirement.
do we
So
get
the
like
only
a
the only confirmed entrants right now are Punk and Cena.
what if Cena comes out and be like, I don't want to make this easier given I'm coming out number one. Would you be okay with that?
You see, I've had some thought into this, like legitimate thoughts. I thought it would have been rather appropriate if Cena would have came out at 17,
Mm.
because he's chasing 17, and if he wins from 17 to where it's almost like he's manifesting it, I thought that would have been a wonderful story to tell. Now, if he comes in at number one or even number two, because be honest, it's the same entry. Let's be
Right.
honest. That would be very interesting. especially if it's with a Punk or Randy.
Oof.
Telling you, like I said, this year is.
I think we're gonna get shades of the year that
Oh,
we had
here.
everybody.
Whoa. I got another one for you. What if we get a Rumble surprise? Another former foe of John Cena, but in a different name. I'm talking about the wanted man, Nick Nemeth.
Mm. Now you talking about surprise at the Rumble or for this
Yes,
Netflix? Okay,
at the
okay.
Rumble. Could you imagine?
I'm here to show the
Oh,
world.
no. You got to hear his news. Well, we're going to get the TNA song.
Nah, crowd ain't gonna know that. They give
No,
him
no, no.
that Dolph with the
That's the
blue.
beauty of it. That's the beautiful part about it.
Man.
They'll see that, and then they'll see the name. Let me
Nah, they
cook.
they gonna give him that Naomi role out. Going back to Naomi. You know what I'm saying? She try to come in as Trinity. Nah, they go back to Naomi. Gonna give him
Let me
that
ask
Dolph
you
role
this
out.
question though. Like, I don't think it's that likely anymore. But what if we finally get Matt Cardona in a WWE ring?
It's about time.
I believe it's long overdue.
Yeah.
Because again, you could lobby for another TNA entrant representing the system, Kurt Hawkins.
Mm. There you go.
I'm telling you, I'm also bullshit tonight.
Do
Again,
you feel
there's so many beautiful things that they can do, especially with all these partnerships.
I wanted to ask because I started noticing lately like WWE is not shy of using footage of people that's in AEW these days and just anywhere else, like that Raw celebration over like for the
Whoa,
last.
I'm not sure if you saw some of the photos from Netflix, but from what I saw, I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but in certain screenshots, they have eliminated one Dean Ambrose from certain Shield images.
Mm,
So I wouldn't go that far. But
okay,
I thought I don't know if it's confirmed or not, but I saw a couple pictures of it. And I thought that was interesting.
yeah, I gotta look out for that because I don't know what screenshots they'll have
So
on Netflix,
there's a picture of them doing the Shield bump, and it's just Roman and Seth
like a
in
thumbnail
the
leading
Shield
into an
garb and
episode.
everything. No, it was on like almost. To know how they have like the still images above the
Mm-hmm.
thumbnail. It was one of those
Yeah.
pictures.
Mm.
So I was like,
Yeah, 'cause they showed
because
a lot of
I don't recall
Edge, a
them
lot
two
of
just doing it
Chris
by themselves
Jericho.
without Ambrose. Excuse me,
Right,
Moxley.
right. Yeah, they've been showing a lot of Jericho Edge over the Raw episode. Like
Well,
they're getting a lot of old footage right there.
I mean, respectfully, those two were a crucial part of the early days of Monday Night Raw, especially post 2001. So, whether Tony Khan likes it or not, they're going to appreciate Chris Jericho and cope, and he's going to cope about it.
Man,
That so fucking bad.
I think that name right there was a outcry to be Edge again.
He'll never have that. He has Metalingus, but he has Rated R Superstar. He supposedly is getting Beth Phoenix soon.
Hey, that should just be his name, the Rated R Superstar.
Just,
Fuck it.
or having that kind of like the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah, like fuck it.
But again, I wouldn't be mad at that if Tony Khan paid for Tony Chimmel to do it. Like bro Darrell had what's his name? Uh
Right, yeah. Like that was the iconic person that said the Rated R
or
Superstar.
like Umaga had Armando. Alejandro Estrada.
Man,
You could do that with Tony Chimmel and the Rated R Superstar.
let me ask you: would it be cringe if we get a red mat for Monday Night Raw?
I was going to ask you about that because we saw the blue mat with SmackDown. As of now, I wouldn't be surprised if we have that with the Black Prime logo
Mm.
because Logan Paul is now a Raw superstar. We haven't even gotten to what he might do at Raw. Could you imagine somewhere down the road Logan Paul versus John Cena?
Mm.
That would be something.
Just not at Mania. To be
I
saying, just
wouldn't
I don't want it at Mania.
to keep it a buck. I wouldn't be mad at that either.
Mm.
I would not be mad at that
Mm.
because again,
That's how you know. That's how you know we in a new world, though. Like for real. Like imagine if we was in the '90s talking about a celebrity was gonna come in, let alone an internet sensation and not probably not main event, but be at a WrestleMania lineup card.
okay. So hear me out real quick.
Like that's crazy.
Would you have been mad at Dennis Rodman or Mike Tyson versus Razor Ramon for the IC title?
And look, they ain't even lose Tyson. Yeah, like
Dennis
they had
Rodman versus
Tyson in
Hardcore
it.
Holly.
Man, they wasn't doing that. The WCW was, but WWE they just hired them dudes for some slight appearances.
Motherfucker, we got Shaq versus Big Show. We got Shaq versus
Man,
Floyd Mayweather.
yeah, after. But if you talk about like Razor, like that era, nah.
Butterbean and Bart Gunn.
Yeah, that. You see, that shit was a boxing. Yeah, that shit was. I ain't gonna lie. As a kid though, I thought that was fire. I'm not even gonna lie. I don't know why. I thought this little slug shit that they was doing, this little. Then I noticed everybody hated that
Okay,
shit.
for
I was
shits
like,
and
wait.
giggles, I'm going to throw out Steve Blackman and Shane McMahon.
Mm.
I rest my case. Certain times, the guy who ain't putting the work, i.e. Shane McMahon, can go bell to bell with some of the top dogs. You can't say Shane McMahon versus Kurt Angle, King of the Ring. You can't say that match didn't cook.
But nah, it's crazy though. It just says something about Logan
No,
Paul.
no, 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 no. You ain't getting up that easy.
Nah, cause that's like back in the day, the celebrities weren't built the same. Like you had Drew Carey eliminating himself out the Rumble, doing shit that Pat McAfee would do. Logan Paul is really like a one of one, like Bad Bunny, maybe two of two, cause Bad Bunny hit
More,
WrestleMania
but again, you won't put Shane McMahon in that category respectfully. The
as a
boss's son,
celebrity. As a celebrity, nah,
the boss's son,
nah,
really?
not as a celebrity, nah,
HD,
nah.
sir, really?
That's like saying Vince in the match because he's the owner. Them dudes had no business being in the damn ring themselves.
Okay, Vince and Shane are two different levels of athleticism.
And Shane got better though. Like as he got older, he just did a lot of wild shit. Shane
My
while he was
point
younger,
exactly.
he just did a lot of wild shit. Like
All to earn an "I love you" from his daddy.
man,
The man
Mean
almost
Street,
killed himself just for a hug.
Mean Street Posse. Shane was cringe as fuck though.
That's beside the point. That's after the fact.
That shit was cringe. That shit was bad. This little Shane that we got when he
I'm
came
I'm
back
just
as an old
saying.
man.
I'm just saying you can't not have him and Logan Paul in that same category.
Nah. As a novelty match, I could see. Celebrity level,
What do you
nah.
think Logan Paul does? Even with the U.S. title, that was all novelty.
If Shane
It,
McMahon go
it,
into the hold on, if Shane McMahon go into the Hall of Fame, he not going in the celebrity wing.
I don't care what wing he goes in.
He
That
not
man's a
going
Hall
in the
of Famer.
celebrity wing.
That man won the best in the world tournament.
He not going in the celebrity wing. Logan Paul might go in the celebrity wing.
Bet you won't. Bet he'll be in the regular wing.
That'd be crazy. That'd be
Bad Bunny might
crazy.
go in the celebrity wing.
That'd be crazy.
Pat McAfee might go in the celebrity wing. Logan
Man,
Paul, we forget, Logan Paul is a contracted talent.
man. Mm. That
Amethyst,
shit is wild.
thank you.
That shit is wild.
Now, granted, I don't know, fuck it. I'm very curious to see what happened with him and Tony Khan. I would have bet 6 months' salary his ass would have been there by now, especially with the Hurt Syndicate.
Mm.
He again, much like Cornette and other folks, or Bully Ray, Cornette, Bischoff, they listened to 5 minutes of Tony Khan and they probably said, "What the fuck is wrong with you?"
Do you think he's potentially waiting to see what happens with WWE's legal situations, or probably trying to weigh options to
Oh, you didn't hear the
maybe?
latest news with that?
Yeah, you was sending me something. She's
Allegedly, Vince is gonna win that case
mm,
scot free because, yeah, you got to read it. There's some wild shit that's been surfacing.
wow.
But now, granted, Vince is never coming back. I can promise you that. But could you imagine if Shane McMahon and Triple H and Stephanie kind of like bury the hatchet with everything, and those three are working together?
I mean, what if The Rock puts in a play to get him a seat higher than, like close to him where he's sitting at, or along in
Okay,
that
so where do
same
you put
room.
Bruce Pritchard then? Because Bruce is coming back Monday.
Mm.
Where do you put him?
Creative.
Triple H
Did
has Paul.
mm.
Could you imagine if The Rock recruits Bruce? Again, look, but between again, it's no secret The Rock and Triple H. Like I said, they have a history together, a very interesting and artistic difference level of beef. So we might have a fight for the throne per se, which could be why Triple H is getting more active with Kevin Owens. If Triple H can get healthy, what if at a Mania? What if we get Triple H and The Rock one more time? We haven't talked about that ever because we thought Triple H is done for good, but we see all this new science come to light. Could you imagine if the game gets one more go?
Man.
Like, think about it. Another individual that could be I'm praying. I'm legit praying for this. That this is a Rumble surprise. The master of the 5 count at the Rumble.
Who, Biggie himself? Not Biggie
Yes,
himself.
sir.
Ooh wee.
Like no, I'm gonna be honest. Like when I heard Metalingus at the Rumble a few years ago, I actually cried for that.
Oh no, yeah, that was definitely on your
I
face.
never thought I'd see that ever after he had retired. I was happy to see Danielson back. I was happy to see Christian back. I never thought we would have saw Edge again. Edge, when he had his Edge Christian podcast back in the day, he kind of like gave up hope. Like he was doing TV shows and he felt like he could try to do it, but in his mind, he was probably sold that no, I'm good. And then he got quiet and he's like, hey, like what if? And like he put himself through hell over it. And then when we finally got it years ago, like I cried for that. If Triple H comes back and has the match with The Rock, I might cry for that
Mm.
because the man has come. The man damn near died a few years ago when he got sick, and this is his second chance at life. And if he manages to do this and that, like that would be crazy. Streets, my brother, how you doing?
What's up?
Yes, sir.
We're doing
There you
some little
go.
Rumble predictions.
Okay.
And I was just talking about the fact that, say, from the Rumble to Mania, given what we've seen as of late,
Yeah.
this is probably the most unlikely. But could you imagine maybe at WrestleMania, one final time, The Rock versus Triple H?
Okay. Could I see it? Yeah, I can see it.
My theory is this:
If you
given
ask,
what's
if you
going on
asking
with
me,
modern science, we saw Danielson come back, we saw Christian come back. I'm hoping is able to come back. He better Triple H can follow suit with that.
well, I'll say this: I do feel like Triple H still has that dog in him.
But
I still feel like he got maybe one more left in him. You know, he got one of them dogs left in him. You can tell when he pushed Kevin Owens the other day. You know, it looked good. It felt good. You know, he felt like he pushed him like, you know,
he's
he maybe
very much
still wanted to
awake.
lace the boots
There's
up a
still
little
life in
bit.
that dog.
Yeah, they still got a little bark in the dog, a little bite in the dog. But against the top dog, the final boss,
But
I don't
again,
think he want to do it.
I'm about here. My thing, you got the two gods of WWE. You got, it's like, it's like it's Hades and Zeus.
Yeah, 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 yeah. No, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. That would be tight.
And
Now
my thing was like, I cried when Edge came back because I thought that would happen. If this happens, I might cry for that too.
yeah, it might be ignorant. It might be ignorant. Now I will say this. Like, you know, I do feel like he got that dog in him, but I feel like, you know, I don't know, maybe The Rock ate a little bit more vitamins, ate his vegetables a little bit more. You know what I'm saying? He just looked like he's more, you know, he's like the LeBron James of WWE. You know what I'm saying?
It's like, to be
WWE,
technical,
you know?
if him and Ric Flair got the same shit on, then yeah, he can do the match.
Oh,
Do I want to put him in that situation?
You want to get into
Yeah.
you want to get into that right now?
Man,
Well,
You
I'll
hear the
say
word?
this.
Hold on, Richard. You hear the word?
What's that?
Ric Flair said he got one more in him.
You know,
He said he said he ready now.
who is he going against though? Who's literally getting in a match against him? You know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna lie, for me.
Ron 3 said run it.
Come on, man. For me, I say this: when Shawn Michaels kicked his jawbone off, he said, "I'm sorry, sorry, Rick. I love you, man, but I gotta take you out." Fine. He kicked his jawbone off. It was he all yelled at him. It was over. Like, ain't no coming back from that. Like, I'm sorry. Even if, I mean, you can't obviously because you still want to. You know what I mean? But that don't mean like
you don't happen to watch him in TNA, did you?
I did sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Him and Hogan had a match in Europe. It was almost as bad as his last match where he had an actual heart attack in the ring.
Yeah, because they old, but they don't want to give it up. They got so much love, like they really want to die in the ring.
They want, much like Tyson, they want that warrior's death.
Yeah, exactly. They want that war because they come from a different era. You know what I'm saying? A different point in life, but it just ain't that no more. You know what I mean? And that sucks. It just ain't that.
dude be thinking they Terry Funk and shit. Like,
Yeah.
Terry Funk should retire before we were born.
Yeah. Terry Funk was out of there, bro. That nigga was no longer funky. He was out of there.
Again, real talk. If he didn't have his health problems, I bet you still be in the ring right now. I bet you.
Sure.
I think aside from Sting, the most graceful way you could have went out was like Stone Cold, The Rock.
I don't know.
Fans. Now, where you want the fans wanting you, like whenever they come, you hear that glass ring is special. The Rock around is special. They never overstayed their welcome.
I will say that. What's happening?
He used to have the Mania match against Triple H, and he says that I'm good off of that match. I roasted my dog and Mania. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Because
okay, I'm
just saying you're welcome is crazy.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. Sometimes it'd be like, you know,
and that's why Cena's retiring now. He knows he can still hang with the big dogs, and after that.
But it's like I'm gonna tell you this: for Cena to have survived to now, you know, obviously he's getting bigger checks to do movies and TV and stuff like that. He's a bigger star. But I'm saying this: you had to reinvent your style. The only time he reinvented his style was when he first came out, when he was the Word Life, basic
and his job was on the line then.
Then he went to the Eat Your Vitamins and, you know, wearing purple, the Fruity Pebble, you know what I'm saying? The Rock.
And in my opinion, was difficult about his wrestling style. He predicated on being like a strong dude. Like Austin was a striker. Most of his shit was striking. Luthez, I'm gonna drop an elbow.
Cena was the second coming to
stomp a mud hole in you. Yeah, his was more like show you how strong I am, strength. I can lift up the Big Show. But it's like his moveset was ass. His moveset was like a 2.5 out of 10.
But it still requires you picking up the likes of a Big Show, the biggest dudes in the company, a Mark Henry, and that, you know what I'm saying? It's like that's taxing. to continue on with that style. Now it's
pound for
like
pound, he was him.
But like I said, if they would have maybe what they should have done really is probably what they did with Roman and made John Cena bad, like real bad though. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
though, like Cena
that's something we're always going to debate for the rest of the time because that's gonna be one of the biggest what if scenarios.
Well, time out. He said he didn't want to be bad, right?
You know, there's a time where they almost pulled the trigger.
Yeah, well, they should have.
But also, folks forget he kind of started out the heel with the Dr. Thugonomics. But again,
but he wasn't he wasn't big enough yet. He came in like you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he wasn't that dude yet. Like you know what I'm saying? Roman came in as a good guy. Not a good guy, but as a heel, obviously with the Shield. You know what I'm saying? Then they made him a good guy. It didn't work so good. They turned him heel. It worked way better for him. You know what I'm saying? Like my thing is like if they could have turned John Cena maybe heel and then switched his moveset up. Because it's like the same little five knuckle shuffle.
The thing is though,
little brush the shoulder.
Was Cena really a failure when he got the kids behind him for so many years? Even if those kids grow older, new kids started to love him. Like,
I'm not saying it's a failure by no means.
Yeah, like, I'm just saying, like, need to change anything. For us, he did, because we older.
Yeah, for us, yeah. Like, but the dynamic for me is like,
but
he
his
didn't
target
evolve.
Audience, he was hitting that shit.
Of course, he was selling out. He was one of the biggest stars, you know. They're going to put him on the WWE Mount Rushmore for sure. I'm just saying, like, when you got somebody, you know, who's going out there and really, you know, reinventing themselves or kind of doing stuff and putting on a show, and it's like for the past how many years, we be getting the same person, same colorful shirts, same move set, same.
But I ain't gonna lie. Are we spoil you by the few that do change up? I mean, that's what wrestling's been. Hogan was wearing the same yellow trunks for 10 years.
No, that's what I'm saying. But like, I feel like he's like the modern day Hogan.
Austin, like, the black trunks.
Yeah, but it's like we got to switch it up. We got guys like, you know, I don't want to say names on other people's show. I don't know if that's gonna kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I've been dogging him all night, please don't worry.
I don't want to spray off anything, Will.
Dump the clip. Dump the clip.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, they're just niggas who's out there doing their thing, bro. It's people who's out there really trying to, you know, make it an entertaining show, bro. Like,
look, Sting kept himself. He did the Joker, but he kept true to himself for, like, the face paint stuff, you know?
Yeah, that's cool. But, reinventing yourself in a cool way. Like, even The Rock right now, he just reinvented himself again. The final boss. Now I'm a bad guy. You like, and it's selling out the box.
So you just wanted more. You would have liked a little bit more from Cena.
I want you to just evolve. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's good or bad, just evolve. Like, because we all gonna love it. When you look back, do you really be like, I hate this person, or you love it? Like, did you like Stone Cold when he was good and when he was bad, or do you just appreciate it all? Like, it's all part of the character. You feel what I'm saying?
Let's go a little deeper than that. You ready for this one?
Okay.
So the reason why I see Cena return could be and this probably doesn't get talked up enough because the only person that's in this conversation maybe a Bryan Danielson is why didn't Ricky Steamboat turn? The man who's dubbed as the greatest babyface of all time.
Yeah, I mean,
folks, I'm sure folks want him to turn back in the day.
I think it's, you know, certain people have it like in their mind that they don't want to, you know, be looked at as being bad. Like Jackie Chan won't do any movies where he's a bad guy.
I think it just solidified too more the character. Like, you know, you could rely on this person to fight on the good side of justice.
Yeah, but I feel like that's a sleazeball move in real, like it's a character in real life. You probably a jerk ass fool, like, you know what I'm saying? Like
he's doing this for the look, like
I know, it's like it's gonna be too easy for him to play himself. Like, you might play that role too well. You know what I'm saying? Like, you a villain. Like, I don't trust somebody who's just all total good, dog. Like, you gotta be a little bad somewhere, dog.
Cena couldn't do no wrong to me because falling in love with the Dr. Thugonomics, then seeing the army shit he did.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we learned about the Make-A-Wishes.
Yeah, hustle, loyalty,
and respect.
Never give up. And then,
but I mean, a lot of wrestlers do that though. A lot of wrestlers be at them, you know what I'm saying, foundations and giving back to the kids.
But apparently no one's done.
That's part of his gimmick.
Nobody's doing it more than Cena. I understand that. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, I ain't gonna lie. I don't know, bro. I look at it. I don't know.
Like, that was part of
if
his
you had an
opportunity, like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you had an opportunity, you were selling out the box, would you be going all them stuff too? You would, wouldn't you? Especially if you like, shoot, if I go out all these events, you know the boss gonna see this, you know Vince gonna see it, you know the people gonna talk.
But they always say though, that's the part of being the champion and being on top. Are you ready for that commitment to do what it takes to you know, represent the company?
He just said, where do I sign?
I mean, I don't know. For me, if you in that, you better breathe it, live it, eat it, sleep it. Like, what else you doing? If I'm in the NBA, like, I don't want to do nothing else but worry about basketball.
Yeah.
Or just majority of things. Like, if I'm in the WWF or WWE, sorry, I'm gonna be doing everything I can as WWE. Any and all things. Like, why not? Like, I'm gonna eat, live it. We stream, and how much do we eat, breathe, and stream and like live it? You know what I'm saying?
Get back to the people that make this thing go round, like the kids, the families, the people that just enjoy watching. I wouldn't mind doing that at all. If I was,
and then you get a bag for it too, and you already love the culture.
I'm not saying I would have held the record like Cena. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying
who's to say you wouldn't have maybe broke it? Who's to say you maybe wouldn't?
Yeah,
you know, you might have gotten there.
Let's go down that road real quick. Let's go down that road. So, the streets. So, Asia had this conversation not too long ago that something that could be a very likely possibility. Everyone's favorite dirt sheet guy is talking about this being the match. What if John Cena beats Cody for number 17 at Mania?
Okay.
How you feel about that?
I can entertain that. I'm gonna tell you why. I don't feel like Cody Rhodes is stronger than John Cena.
Oh, none of us feel that way.
Yeah. So could I see it for sure?
Let me run down a compelling sheet for you here now. Cody Rhodes beat Seth Rollins 3 times in the 3 meetings. He beat him with a torn pec. He went on to beat Brock Lesnar 2-1.
Okay.
He beat the Beast. The Beast that took Mr. Cena to Suplex
Cena
City.
owned the Beast.
But he also beat a older Beast. He didn't beat a prime Beast.
Hey, that's still Brock fucking Lesnar there.
Hey, look. Michael Jordan was still Michael Jordan on the Wizards, but he wasn't Michael Jordan on the Bulls.
Don't do Brock like that. Don't do Brock like
I'm just saying. Everybody, look. If Brock is in his prime, if Brock was in his prime, ponytail Brock can't be in his prime then.
You can't tell me Cowboy Brock ain't on the same level as Beast Incarnate.
Nah. What? Beast Incarnate was he didn't care about nobody.
I'm gonna be honest. You want to know what's to me the best Brock Lesnar? The next big thing. That's the best one because he came in. Yeah. All our favorites: Hogan, Rock. Austin said, "No, I'm going home."
He never had Austin.
Yeah, that's why I said Austin said, "No, I'm going home. I don't even want this on Raw." That's a true fact.
Yeah, I know. He quit. He quit. I know. I quit. He was supposed to have a match where he's supposed to lose against him. He took the title and left. I'm not coming back.
He said, "No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm not doing this with no build up."
Yeah, but I'm saying like, so I can feel you like, so that Brock Lesnar who really didn't care, who was like, I'm throwing fools around the ring. If you get injured, put it on my tab. I'm making the money. I'll pay for the doctor bill. Put it on my tab. But you getting hurt if you get in this ring with me. That Brock Lesnar versus the Brock Lesnar who done been through like a couple matches now, a couple manias. He done been in the UFC. He done came back. He done kind of, getting that check.
This one that we see right now, he's tough, but he's more giving to the business. He's more. I don't think Cody should have beat him.
No way, bro. Like, come on, bro.
On the topic of the next big thing, me and H talked about this already before. We kind of already have the second coming of that in Mr. Braun Breaker.
Mm-hmm.
He, again, unless I'm proven wrong, have you ever seen anybody that has been fast tracked similar to Brock Lesnar than Braun Breaker?
I'm gonna throw Ryback in the mix. He was going for a minute. He was going crazy for a second. And I felt like they kind of slowed his moment. But Ryback was going crazy for feed me more. Feed me more. Yeah, he was a beast. Come on, baby.
Here's the thing, though. Ryback couldn't go bell to bell like Braun can go.
No, of course. But I'm saying,
Braun can go bell to bell. Ryback, they want to be. I can see more like a Goldberg comparison.
Yeah, but they kind of like. I feel like WWE you got holding people back sometimes too. Yeah, true.
Nah, Brock Lesnar was just built different, bro.
He's just a different animal, bro. Like, it's hard to compare him to anybody because he's like he's just a freak of nature, bro.
That Steiner blood is different.
Yeah.
Because we all knew what Scott Steiner's capable of, and his brother.
That was huge.
The dog-faced gremlin, he was no slouch either. It's just Scott was the crash out.
Yeah, Rick was a monster too.
Yeah, bro.
But I'm saying, like, I feel like, I don't know. Ain't nobody gonna, Brock is a different beast, but What you guys think?
He's not one of one.
Yeah, he's at 1-on-1, bro. It's hard to kind of, he's hard to compare people.
Often imitated, never duplicated.
Actual, bro. Do you think he's gonna, what do you think about this new? Okay, two things I want to touch on. You guys have already touched on it. Sorry, chat. My black ass was late. But what do you think about one? Them trying to do the Paul Heyman guy thing, Brock, CM Punk, Roman Reigns. That's one thing I want to ask you guys. What do you think? Do you think it'll be a real thing? And then two, I'm hearing whispers. My pops was telling me now they're talking about trying to give CM Punk the headline at Mania that he's been always asking for. What do you guys feel about that? And who do you think he should go for to main event a WrestleMania?
So we kind of cover both of those at separate points of time. But as far as the Mania thing,
hold on, we can smoke, nigga. Oh, cool. I swear to God, I was like, I didn't know if we can smoke. I was trying to be proper, nigga. Hey, he should have told me, boy. No, I feel you. I just didn't want to get y'all kicked off the airways.
He's like, don't mind me.
I see this nigga. At first, I heard scraping. I was like, right now. I know them scraping sounds. I know what that sounds like. Did I see that brown paper come up and nigga licked it? Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. Wait a minute.
Yeah, nah. We did answer that shit like Fraser was saying.
But, I mean, as far as the main event scene with Punk, it would depend on who it's against.
Yeah, but who? Okay, so I told my pop, I was like, I don't think that he. I give it to him just to give it to him.
You could do Punk and Cena one more time under very specific conditions. It's gotta be very specific.
But Cena would walk him, and the thing is,
that don't matter. That don't matter.
Y'all doing it all wrong, bro. Y'all doing it all wrong. We need a multi-man match for the title, bro. 5-6 competitors, bro.
5 or 6. Now that can be perfect.
I'm not gonna lie,
because I don't think 1-on-1 he ain't dogging nobody, dog.
He's saying that for this reason. He wants to bring back the old fashioned that we only saw one time only. The Armageddon Hell in the Cell. He wants to see
that would be
Hell in the Cell.
That'd be ignorant though. That would be ignorant. But I mean, how could you have that not have like Roman Reigns and Solo and
it would be Cody, Rock, Cena, Punk, Roman, and then insert anybody for number 6.
Seth,
Randy, KO. Yeah. I opted for Jey Uso personally.
Yeah.
It could kind of put if not a close, it'll culminate to what's been going on the last 3 to 4 years for sure.
What, the title scene's fucked?
That, and hopefully after that we could go back to regular scheduled programming like I've been saying. Because you get everybody happy. You get CM Punk the fucking WrestleMania he finally wants. You get the title on well, fuck the title for a second. You get CM Punk the main event he always wanted. You get Rock and Roman in some fashion, if not 1-on-1 at WrestleMania Night 1 in that fucking match too. I'm not mad at having Rock and Roman having a face-off in a match with other people.
I wouldn't mad,
especially for the title. Because they're going to be trying to make sure that each other don't win that shit. Which can now lead to...
It will be Rock versus Roman.
Right. You know that. But it could build, if Rock decides to stay around, him, like, them fighting over that title right there, we could still get to that. They 1-on-1. Like, it'll add more, you know what I'm saying? Even though it don't need more. But since we in the business of keeping all these wrestlers happy and giving everybody what they want.
It would tease Cody Roman 3. It would tease Punk Cena one more time.
I personally got Roman walking out of WrestleMania champion, but that's just me.
Yeah, I got The Rock walking out as champion.
I'm not mad at
that. The Rock's still there. Cena going on his farewell tour though.
Rock is OG, so I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
How would you feel about maybe Cena versus the Logan Paul in a one-off?
That can be cool. I can see that being cool. On as a WrestleMania, no.
To open WrestleMania, to open say night 1. No. Really?
Not for Cena to wrestle him as his last match in the WWE as a WrestleMania. No.
No.
Okay.
No. Like no. Not for Cena's last, like the last hoorah. I just feel like it wouldn't even be a challenge for him. Like you grew up watching Cena, you was in your drawers trying to imitate Cena. He was the one talking about eat your vitamins. He was talking to Logan Paul. He was talking to him when he, you know what I'm saying? Like I just for him to be in the last match.
The last three things I remember.
Aside from Randy or Punk, who would you want?
What we say?
Aside from Randy or Punk, who would you want for the final Mania? If not Rock, thrice in a lifetime.
I was gonna say maybe Rock, maybe Brock Lesnar.
I would love that, but again, we don't know. I've been calling for Brock to be back since SummerSlam.
I'd say maybe even.
What about AJ Styles?
If you say that Triple got one more in the tank, come on then, Triple. Run your last one with me then. Run your last one with Cena then.
That'd be something.
You got something in the tank? You feel me? You strong, he strong. You got one more? Run in the tank. You ran Taker's last couple matches too, didn't you? Shawn and Taker, right? And then Brock took him out. So why not? But okay, outside of that, who could you see? Because some of these younger dudes is like Braun Breaker. I feel like he would smack Cena now.
Could John Cena save LA Knight? Could he? No. I said, could he save him?
Yes. Yeah. Even though I don't really like dude.
Nah, he can't save him.
You don't think you can save him? You don't think he could?
No,
I think LA Knight's dead in the water.
Cena put up LA Knight's hands and nothing happened. Just a few months ago. I forgot what moment they had that they all shared the ring and Cena put up his hand and nothing happened out there.
Was that LA Knight?
Maybe they just ain't. Maybe they just gotta build it more.
Or this one, I wouldn't be. I'd be excited for this one. Again, I'm thinking maybe a Mania opener per se.
Yeah.
What about John Cena versus Grayson Waller?
Okay, I can see that.
You already had Austin.
You already had Theory beat him, right? At Mania.
I think Theory lost. Oh no, Theory did beat him.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Cena's last appearances at Mania been kind of trash. Last thing I remember him getting rock bottomed at WrestleMania. He got beat by the Undertaker in a few seconds. He lost to Austin Theory.
Hey, he had like 10 beers at that time.
Man.
He was turned.
Yeah. I mean, who else could you see fighting Cena as his last one?
Just hear me out real quick.
That's the problem.
Go ahead.
Hear me out. What if John Cena versus Dominic Mysterio?
I wouldn't be mad at that. Reason
I say, around WrestleMania season or Royal Rumble season, Dominic always chooses to do some dumb shit to his dad. And Super Cena around. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Got to teach the young buck a lesson.
Yeah. That'd be tight. Yeah. That'd be cool.
Cena lost us. Oh man.
What do you think about Cena versus Seth Rollins?
They had put on good matches back in the day.
Or again, it could be Cena versus KO for the Winged Eagle.
Yeah.
It's Cena to 17.
Yeah.
Oh, for fuck's sake. This is crazy. How they really like about to bring this other belt back and make it like.
Again, this is the road we may have to go down. I'm looking at all avenues.
That shit crazy.
The Winged Eagle, the Bret Hart belt. Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Iron Man match belt. You don't know.
Yeah, because they doing a ladder match. Streets, Kevin Owens versus Cody. I'm not sure if the match is still on
Rumble.
Because,
it's for the Rumble.
Yeah. Both belts up, suspended. Is Cody Rhodes gonna actually grab the other belt? Do they grab both belts at the same time?
Type shit.
Does Drew take him out?
Yeah. Hey, I ask you that. What do you think about Kevin Owens versus the John Cena at WrestleMania?
Again, you might have something there.
There's been some of Kevin Owens' best stuff, but I don't know. I feel like I need a star-studded, like,
Crazy.
Like I don't know what fits the bill for a dream
And
scenario.
That's why I said for like a dream scenario, like maybe bringing somebody out the woodwork that he ain't even, you wouldn't even think of type shit. But like, who would that be though?
Nick Nemeth, FKA Dolph Ziggler, Matt Cardona.
I like Ziggler, but Ziggler as a last maybe I like Ziggler.
Or you could do Matt Cardona.
Yeah, I don't know. And then, like, I think it's a tough one. Because if Cena is to lose, I would like it to be in a passing of the torch moment to the right person.
Yeah. Factual.
If he's to win,
if done right, could you do Mello?
That's a light walk. That shouldn't even be a WrestleMania match. That's like
again, if done a very specific way. I don't know what that way is, but do you think there's at least 1% chance that could work?
Nah, not for me. Again, not for WrestleMania. Him versus Mello, that's more of like regular PLE.
I'm thinking something you could put just anywhere on the card on either night. It don't got to be the main event.
But last one ever, like last Mania.
Because hear me out. Because the main events for both nights are going to be a combination of either Seth versus Punk, Punk versus Roman versus Rock, Roman Cody 3. It could be Seth. It could be Seth versus Roman finally.
I ain't gonna lie, Punk versus Roman.
Because again, we don't. Because remember, we don't know what that one favorite by Heyman is.
Yeah.
Say we get Roman Cody 3 at Chamber, and then at Mania we get Punk versus Roman, because Punk wants to cash in that favor for the main event. And then Heyman, the wise man, leaves the tribal chief.
Maybe he already gonna leave him if Roman loses
up
on Raw. Because remember, he said that if he loses, Paul Heyman's on his side then. So you thinking about him being that Mania with him? What if he ain't?
What if that match is a no contest?
Cena versus
the Rock lays both of them out, and then the wise man is the final boss.
Yeah.
I want Moose.
And the wise man has the new elders in Rikishi and Haku.
Yeah. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting now, to say the least. It's gonna be interesting. I'm excited.
Buckle up,
see what they're gonna do. I'm excited to see what they're gonna do, Brian. Okay.
But that's it. Look like we covered everything, chat. Y'all know what time it is. About to put that graphic up on the screen for y'all. Hit that QR code right there. Let's get right.
Chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out, they laid a big smile, no handcuff our officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script, we got some shooters. Pow, it's off the hip, yeah. Oh, chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out, they laid a big smile, no handcuff our officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script, we got some shooters. Pow, it's off the hip, yeah. chilling at the head of the table where the bosses sit, stunning everything in sight, whether it's in the bloodline or corporate. Walk me out the arena, big smile, handcuffed by officers. Hold on, wait, I think they lost the script. We got some shooters.